This video is sponsored by scdkey.com. scdkey.com is a marketplace website where you can purchase game keys and software keys with no hassle. scdkey.com offers a legit Windows 10 Pro key for only $17. This is the same keys I use on my PC builds. But to make it more awesome, they will be giving another 12% discount. Just type our coupon code XTNC to get it for only $15. You now have your legit Windows 10 key license all set, but in a more affordable price. If you're in the Philippines, purchasing is very easy. You can use PayPal, PayMaya, or GCash. Visit scdkey.com now. I'll put the link in the video description below. So thank you scdkey.com for sponsoring this video. Hey guys, Action here. Welcome back to another gaming PC build. Ngayon, itetest natin tong PC worth 35,000 na ating binili supposedly for the back-to-school people na gustong mag-build ng PC for online class or even gaming at the same time. Pero bago yan, let's have a quick look on the parts na binili ko for this build, which you can find on the part 1, link in the video description below. For the CPU, pinili ko itong AMD Ryzen 3 3100, which is a 4-core 8-thread processor na may base clock speed na 3.6 GHz and boost clock speed up to 3.9 GHz. It is actually a good pick considering it's only priced at around 6,000 Philippine pesos. Since this also comes with a Wraith Stealth stock cooler, yun na rin ang gagamitin natin, eliminating the need for a separate aftermarket cooling solution. For the motherboard naman, I choose the Asus EX8320M Gaming, mainly dahil feature pack itong motherboard despite being in the lower end chipset line na A320. May Aura Sync RGB din and 4 memory slots instead of a usual 2 which is found on the most A320M motherboards. And being on a budget at around 3,000 pesos, for me, sulit na to for entry-level motherboard. Take note lang, you must request from the shop na pagbibilan natin to update the BIOS to support the 3rd gen or 3000 series Ryzen processors before selling it to you. Nang sa ganun, hindi ka na ma-hassle on booting or updating the BIOS yourself. Next is our GPU. Of course, aside from doing schoolwork, most of us also think about gaming, diba? So here's the Asus ROG RX5500 XT Strix Gaming with 8GB of video memory, which is okay for 1080p gaming pero di masakit sa bulsa at around 13,900 pesos. It has features such as 0 dB technology which will only spin the fans if the temps reach 60 degrees Celsius and up, as well as premium cooling technology and capacitors and Aura Sync RGB. Coincidentally, Asus also currently have a promo until September 30, 2020 na kapag bumili ka ng graphics card na ito, you can claim a freebie from Asus which is a 240GB Kingston A400 SSD. Check out the link below for details regarding the promo. But in our case, iba ang gagamitin nating SSD, but if you avail this card and got the freebie, of course, savings na rin yun maybe for a mechanical hard drive, for storage, sa games, or something similar. Speaking of SSD, we will use the Patriot P2010 512GB SSD which is priced at around 2,990 pesos. In case lang na di mo makuha yung freebie na SSD with the GPU we've chosen, may option tayo which is larger and still budget friendly and will help you run applications and games much faster than a traditional mechanical hard drive. Sunod naman is yung ating memory or RAM, which is the Tforce Xcalibur 16GB kit 8x2 rated at 32 MHz frequency, which will going to run at dual channel mode. As you may not know, RAM speeds do matter sa Ryzen processors, and by choosing the max speeds of the RAM which the processor we've chosen can support, pwede natin i-maximize ang potential ng both components in terms of performance. Next, we have our power supply or PSU, which is the Cougar XTC 600W 80+ white at around 2,320 pesos. Featuring the silent fans as well and Japanese capacitors, which is more than enough for our build. And the case, which is the iFOR Game FTW front mesh tempered glass case. Good looking na budget case at around 1,600 pesos. Although it doesn't include any case fans, so I use some of my own old fans here na lang. You can buy fans as well, of course, for an additional price. And for the exact price po nito, total po is umabot po siya ng 35,340 pesos. And ngayon na build na natin yung PC, it's time for us to test it for the stuff this was intended to do. Usually, ang online classes umiikot lang yan around using web browsers or productivity apps such as Microsoft Office, Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and much more. As well as video conferencing apps such as Google Meet, Zoom, and Discord. To test that, we've run a PC Mark 10's benchmarking tool, giving us a proper benchmarking score for all the items we've mentioned above, getting a final score of 5,231. Of course, multitasking will be good kasi we have a 4-core and 8-thread CPU as well as an SSD and 16GB of RAM. More than enough for our usual multitasking and online platforms most of the time. Also, we tested it for video editing at Adobe Premiere Pro and rendering on Adobe Media Encoder. Just for those who wants to do multimedia stuff such as editing video as well. Na-surprise nga ako that the Ryzen 3 3100 can handle 1080p editing even by the fact that I used 4K clips downsampled to 1080p from the previous ROG White PC build that I have uploaded on this channel. For those who are also eyeing for a budget editing workstation, goods din ito. Of course, hindi mawawala ang gaming sa test natin. I picked 5 of the common games that are usually played by students, which are esport titles and some AAA titles, all tested in 1080p high settings. In CSGO, we have an average of 193 FPS, while in Dota 2, we have an average of 164 FPS, and in Valorant, we had an average of 195 FPS. On AAA games naman, we have GTA 5 which got an average of 118 FPS, and COD Modern Warfare as well got an average of 133 FPS, which in my opinion, more than enough for a casual gaming. In terms of temperature naman, I was glad to see that the system handled it well. Although nasa air-conditioned environment ako with a room temperature of around 28 degrees Celsius, with our CPU averaging at around 60 to 70 degrees while gaming and at full load, and 44 degrees at idle with the AMD stock cooler, while our GPU naman got only an average of 55 degrees Celsius on gaming and around 42 degrees at idle, which is not really surprising considering na we're using a ROG Strix variant card, which is known for its good cooling solution, at kahit hindi ka naka-aircon, I think this system will do well. Although your mileage may vary pa rin according sa pagkaka-setup mo. To conclude, if you have this 35,000 budget for system unit and looking for a build to make for this back-to-school season, where it will be online-based sa lahat at this moment, okay tong build na ito not only for online classes, but also for gaming and a bit productivity work din if you want. If you're concerned on the upgrade path naman, para sa build na ito, I got you covered as well. For the processor, I think you can go up to Ryzen 5 3600 without any problems. However, if you're thinking of going into 8-core territory with Ryzen 7 and up, I'd recommend you to upgrade to motherboard as well to a better one like a B450 or B550 chipset. For the RAM, of course, dagdagan lang yan, probably with the same kit. But I think 16GB is more than enough for gamers sa ngayon. And for the storage, perhaps you can go with the NVMe drive instead of a regular SATA SSD. The GPU, I think it can serve you for a while naman. So baka medyo matagalan bago ka mag-upgrade. Still depending on your needs. Overall, na-surprise ako sa ngayon on how 35,000 budget can build a decent system unit courtesy of these parts. Like the performance compared to what we usually build before are surprisingly good. Grabe, ang laki din ng epekto ng new technologies on bringing down the cost of a decent PC build nowadays. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this worth 35,000 na gaming PC build. If you have any questions regarding this build, just hook me up on my Facebook fan page or comment lang kayo sa baba and I'll try my best answering those questions. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Action. So like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you on my next gaming PC build.